No idea what's going on here. Well, actually, it looks like a bunch of units all in an unholy amalgam. You know we're in for a good time when we see a replay from Flying Taco, and that's what we got here with him taking the vampire counts into the Empire Classic matchup of Warhammer fame. And wowza, that was like a triple collateral from that. Templehof Luminarch hits all three units of the Corpse Guard, the Banshee, and that Strigoi Vampire Lord. We've also got a White King in there, and a Black Coach, Blood Knights, and Grave Guard. Yeah, a bunch of Grave Guard in here. Only the one Blood Knight, though, with some zombies to support. Single unit of Vargeists in the air, Feasters in the Dusk. Crypt Ghouls actually do trade very well into State Troops. Yeah, 51 melee attack, great weapon strength, not great AP, but into low armor State Troops they'll do great. Some Fellbats, Stock, and Vanguard as well, so they're going up and around to try and get flanking maneuver. We've got Volkmar the Grim leading the Empire here, and Free Company Militia, along with some handguns. Templehof Luminarch we already saw, and a Bright Wizard looking to juice it up, and just in general provide some nice support and synergy. Spearman in the back, Sterling's Revenge, armor-piercing Free Company. Now, right off the bat, the Free Company gonna get some pistol shots into the Blood Knights. Nothing too crazy. Do some HP damage, but not, well, take out maybe a couple models there. Maybe they had actually got hit by the Luminarch back there. Luminarch hits a tree, and Volkmar gonna be unleashed on the front line here. Volkmar's weapon strength buff definitely helped him to perform much better. I've been seeing him in more games more consistently now, which is definitely nice. So it'll see a little disruptive banishment unleashed on some of the Grave Guard, or skeletons even, as they advance. Gonna do some nice AoE damage, take down some of the chaff. This Unholy Lodestone also gets absolutely lased too, blasted by the Templehof and by pistols on the approach. See the Templehof there using its net on the Vargeist, gonna freeze them in place, but it does get engaged by the bats. Unfortunately, the Corpse Guard does not survive the pistol shots of the Free Company, but even still, Vampire's going to be rushing all across the field, trying to engage the Empire defensive position. Skeletons and zombies filtering in to engage. Feasters also, yeah, managed to get a clean charge in on these horsemen. Nice engagement there. Little scab scrath by the White King to help cut down some of those Free Company, who will be trading just fine against most of this undead infantry in melee. Definitely have the stats to contend there, no problem. Little Flaming Sword of Ruin on the Empire's side. Try and get some extra magic and fire damage there. Volkmar also runs in. He's going to nuke that summoned Crypt Horror. Yeah, just drops that nice Soulfire Bombardment there. Does a huge amount of damage. Feasters in the Dusk, though, did not take it, thankfully. That was just the summoned one. So they are going to continue to fight in here. Do a decent job against basically anything that doesn't have armor here. Any of the State Troops and whatnot. Banshee also running around getting some nice terror routes. Just needs to avoid Volkmar pretty much here. Or whatever has Flaming Sword of Ruin. Even, I don't know, multi-model unit even with Flaming Sword. Won't do a ton of damage to the Banshee as long as she's saturated in with her own units. But the Black Coach really has yet to get involved here. And now with a lot of the mobility tied up, Knights kind of go in different directions here. Let's see what it can do. Yeah, right now the Vampire is just kind of slowly getting ground down in a lot of engagements where the State Troops are matched up well against, you know, skeletons and zombies. Grave Guard's obviously trading well, and the Strigoi doing okay, but yeah, those Feasters in the Dusk managed to get in, got 100 kills plus, but starting to run out of steam a little bit. Haven't quite paid for themselves yet, so probably need some healing. Losing the Corpse Cart and losing that passive healing definitely hurts. Blood Knights also trying to get in this backline here, going to get stopped by a net, of course, from the Templehof, blasted in the side, blasted in the face by pistols, and more armor-piercing pistols on the side as the Sterling's Revenge unleash some hell as well. But you can see the Black Coach is starting to push through. I don't remember if the Black Coach actually got the mass buff of the chariots or not, but at the very least here it has enough mass to at least slowly path through the side of the Sterling's Revenge here. It's going to do some massive damage to them, and it also going to help rout off like the Silver Bullets, some of these other units here as well. Banshee actually gets in to fight the Templehof Luminarch in melee. This is very much ideal for the Vampire counts. The Banshee can keep it slowed, it will not escape, and she can try and, you know, keep it pinned down and definitely kill it as well. But we'll see. Right now, the Black Coach did take quite a bit of damage from some of those volleys. The handgunners in particular are going to be quite punishing. But even the Sterling's Revenge here, Free Company Militia, regular Free Company, will be decently dangerous. Volkmar over on the far side here, getting some Flaming Sword, trying to finish off Feasters in the Dusk, some of those other chaff units, so he can start kind of getting his infantry moving back towards this absolutely chaotic backline area. Just in shambles as the Black Coach now is bumper carring with the the Tempelhof here. Some stuff happening, no doubt. Something just exploded in a shower of blood right there, at least. But, yeah, Tempelhof actually going to get maybe chased off by the Black Coach, or no, by the Banshee. That's much more sensible. Black Coach is also doing a good job chasing some routing units. Let's check on its abilities. Black Side's fully charged up for extra weapon strength. It does have some of its Black Nimbus damage resistance, and the Vigor Refresh is fully operational as well. So, definitely operating at maximum efficiency, but other than the Black Coach, there's really not a lot left for the Vampire counts. It's looking pretty thin on the ground. Just these 4 single entities, really. The White King, Banshee, the Coach, and the Strigoi, who himself looks like he's getting close to his healing cap. Let's see here. Tide. Well, there's maybe 1 or 2 health units of Graveguards as well. Let's fast forward a little bit as Volkmar and the Empire continue to clean up some of those tattered units. The single entities of the Vampires try and do the same, shattering a few Empire units, making sure they don't come back from rout. Especially those expensive missile units that can potentially be very dangerous and impactful. And even just these Spearmen, too, not wanting to take too many chances. The Graveguard do manage to hold for quite some time, but eventually they're going to get gunned down here. This one very healthy unit of handgunners is quite dangerous to basically the entire Vampire counts build at this point, but both players kind of reforming ranks. The one thing here that the Black Coach is probably going to struggle with is both these Empire Knights are still alive as well, even if they're not too healthy. Yeah, in terms of magical resources, not sure exactly what Flying Taco has left. If anything, it does have one more, at least, one more charge. I don't know in Winds of Magic-wise if he has enough to actually cast it. Try and summon one more, either Crypt Ghoul or the Horror. Probably not. That's, for the Overcast, even more expensive. We'll see. Ooh, Banshee's going to risk it. Yeah, you see immediately when she engages Volkmar, just going to get absolutely smashed. Yeah, immediately 1, 2, 3 attacks in quick succession. Wouldn't be surprised if the Banshee starts crumbling here. But Black Coach getting a quick charge there. Going to pull on over this way. The Banshee also, while it's taking this damage, the Strigoi and the White King are actually getting some really good damage into Volkmar as well. Yeah, look at that. A couple of really big hits. Even the Black Coach itself getting a little rear charge there. Getting some hits on Volkmar. So Banshee went ghost tank for a minute there and definitely paid a pretty severe price, but will it actually result in the counter snipe for Volkmar, or will he be able to squeak away? It does look like, yeah, the Banshee goes down there, and Volkmar, unbreakable as he is, manages to escape to fight another day. There was another back pocket summon of Crypt Ghouls, though. Enough Winds of Magic at least to tie down these units of Knights. Very important so that they can't, you know, affect the battle as much as possible. You know, poison, even if the ghouls are not going to do too much damage, does result also in the Empire Knights getting terrified away. But a nice Invocation of the Heck on the Black Coach as well to heal that high value unit, keep it operational in this late game, and keep that terror flowing to try and terrify away all these Empire support units. These handgunners, yep, exactly what they need to do. Target prioritize the Black Coach. The other targets are small enough, like these single entities here, you're not going to be able to hit the Strigoi or the White King. So, yeah, definitely back and forth, anyone's game. It's been like multiple land battles in one. So, great game, and big thanks to Flying Taco, of course, for sending that one in. Who will end up winning? Hard to say, but right now, Vampire's pulling ahead on the balance of power, maybe for the first time ever so slightly, as the Black Coach continues to terrify various units away. We're going to see a little burning head. Oh yeah, cuts through those Crypt Ghouls, but also does some leadership damage and results in those Spearmen getting rounded as well. We're going to see another Invocation of the Heck on the Black Coach. Very patient magic usage here. by Flying Taco. Having some spells left for the late game. Being able to sustain the coach. It's going to kind of go through the crossfire here of the handgunners. This is definitely a tactic you can do when you're facing missile units when you get close. Try and, like, angle yourself. So, I mean, sometimes you want to charge directly at them, but sometimes also if you're, like, right by the edge, you can kind of charge around the side of their arc of fire, force them to actually turn around. Here, Taco did that a little bit, but then once he gets close, you can see he just goes to the direct charge. Little Doom and Darkness to try and terrify away the handgunners, and it works. They managed to briefly get terror routed. A nice block here, though, by John FB playing the Empire. Manages to at least momentarily block with the Empire Knights. Will that allow the handgunners to actually turn and shoot, is the question. Looks like, I'm not sure if they're on skirmish mode or if they were given an attack order to run away. But the Strigoi is fast enough. I mean, he's 50 speed on foot. He's a athletic lad, you might say. Also quite huge. Does he technically count as infantry size? That's so funny because Crypt Horrors, which, I mean, he's kind of like a Crypt Horror lord, right, in a way, they technically count as large, and I think they're about the same size. Anyway, let's not think about it too much. Volkmar over here taking some damage from the White King as he tries to engage in melee. Nice block here, it looks like, with the Black Coach. 2v1, not a great engagement for Volkmar, especially given the support units are not particularly helpful here. The lack of AP definitely coming back to haunt things. The spears will do okay, but of course the Black Coach can just pass straight through them. And yet one more invocation of the heck at long range from that Strigoi. Should get it pretty much to its healing cap. Balance power starting to show pretty heavily in Vampire Count's favor, but never done when Volkmar is still on the field, still regenerating HP. It does have some healing cap space left, so let's continue fast forwarding now as Black Coach does get bogged down. Actually, the Knights plus the Spears does prove pretty effective in doing some solid HP damage to it. I would imagine, yeah, everything's fully charged up, so 40% ward save, absolutely mitigating a huge amount of damage being done here, but nonetheless still wounded, and yeah, looking interesting in this late game. Volkmar runs in. The Black Coach actually going to get some attacks. We'll keep this health bars up for this epic bumper car of the ages. I think the White King might have stolen the kill there on the charge, but let's say, for the sake of it, that today's, you know, road rally champion, absolute demolition derby style, the Black Coach taking the win. Absolutely beautiful. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we'll take a little bit more for the rest of these Empire units to hit army losses, so we'll fast forward through that. Mostly the Wizard holding them all together at this point. Strigoi will take a few chunks out of him. And that will be the game. So very nicely done by Flying Taco, honestly. Really, really fun game. And an insane performance from the Black Coach. Yeah, almost 3,000 damage value on that. Almost 25,000 damage dealt. 340 plus kills. Just spectacular. Truly, truly amazing as a Chariot enjoyer. I love this, even if it is Vampire Counts, which I have been known to hate on a lot. But still, Black Coach is definitely one of my favorite units for the faction, and great to see it have such an excellent performance, even if it comes at the cost of my own Empire taking an L there at the very end. But definitely, you know, very sensible build for the Empire. I don't have any disagreements really with anything here. Maybe, yeah, I mean, the one handgunner ended up getting so much value. It's hard to argue with just having enough volume. Yeah, mobile firepower being what it is right now, you know, since you can't take like steam tanks or other like mobile artillery pieces, really. I mean, good luck with the war wagon here, but yeah, your mounted skirmishers are actually not that great in this matchup, so it makes sense to try and take some infantry skirmish power. And just with enough volume, you know, you can get by Vampire Count's ability to shut it down, which they do have plenty of. And Taco was able to do for the most part here. I mean, the Bats and other kind of mobile units did a decent job of it. Blood Knights definitely had a very hard day. But yeah, Feasters also, like 750 value on them, not too bad. Some of the zombies also reasonably cost-effective. The Hero Core also for Taco, must be said. Banshees, absolute MVPs right now. If you're playing Vampire Counts and you're not taking Banshees, even in matchups here, like this is definitely a matchup where I would say you don't want to take multi-model ethereal units like Hex Race or Can Race against the Empire, and in a lot of matchups, but even in those matchups, the Banshee, basically any matchup that's not Zinch, pretty much, right? I think you probably want a Banshee, to be honest. But anyway, that's the story for another day. Hopefully y'all enjoyed that. If you do like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button. Every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.